Hi guys, welcome back to SuperSteel Gaming. Stiller with you here. So today we're going to be looking at two things. First, we're going to be looking at the rank system and some of the major flaws with it. And then we are also going to move on and discuss a few of the issues with Enlisted and some of the things I've heard from the community. And in another video, I'm going to take a much deeper dive into that topic. So stay tuned and enjoy. Okay guys, here are my general issues with the ranking system. Now, there's not a lot of big problems, but it just begins to compile. The first one I want to throw out is the ranking system is not about skill. At first, if you don't understand exactly how it works, it tends to seem like it's about skill. And maybe before the battles became one-sided, it was about skill, but these days, it is not about skill. And let me explain how. Let's say I'm a newbie player. I have about as much experience in this game as I do in Fortnite, which is 0. Okay? So let's say that's my experience level. I come in, maybe I even buy a premium squad, whatever I do. But, I come in, base level, I have very low experience, and I'm a private. Okay, great. Now, I start playing battles. Now, all I have to do is get lucky. Now, you might be saying, God, what do you mean here? Well, guys, here's what I mean. If I find myself in 10 battles that we win, and throughout there, maybe I get a battle hero or two, I'm going to move that many ranks up, even if I was the guy who only had 10 kills on the team. Now, I know you're saying, well, you wouldn't get a battle hero. I understand that. But the point is, I would still be moving up progressively, even if I was the literal worst player with the worst skill on the entire team. On the other team, though, I could have a field marshal who was 50,000 times better than me, but he didn't move up at all because we lost those 10 battles. Now, I understand he's field marshal, but my point is, on skill level, he could be on that field marshal skill level and still be moving up slower through the ranks than I am because of the simple fact that it all has to do with chance and whether that particular battle has more or less good players on one team. It has nothing to do with how good I was personally. It has completely to do how good the best player on the team is. And if you're a really good player, that's fine. You're going to lose some, and I will discuss that because I do think there's issues there. But it's fine because you always know you're eventually going to start winning some. It's not a big deal. But if you're a new player, that's a pretty big deal. Because you're really not getting it by skill. And if you find yourself in a bad string of battles, you could spend your first 15 battles basically losing all of them. Guys. So I just want to point that out. And so that's my first issue. My second issue is I don't think it was implemented correctly. I just do not think that. I think, in my mind, a couple of important things should have been done. First, the ranking system to me should have been a system where it does have some skill basis. Like maybe you do get more points, for battle heroes, which does add a small smidgen of skill into the hat. But I think it should have been based on how many kills you get, based on how high you are on the team. Things like that should dictate your rank. And then also, guys, I think rank needs to mean something. Now, in the game right now, rank means one of two things. Either you're lucky or you're good. Okay? That's what it means. If you're at the top, it means one of those two things. It either means you lucked up there and you're going back down because you can't hold it, or you're good. And as cool as that is, it doesn't do anything. You don't get a boost for it. You don't feel any different other than just some personal pride, which is awesome. It's always good to have personal pride in the game. But for me, I would have it where I would make it harder to move through the ranks. But once you do get to the top and you've really proven that you are a good player, to me, you deserve to be able to have some type of boost, whether that's extra XP in battles, whether that's higher health for your soldiers, I don't know. But whatever it is, to me, I think it is very important that you are able to get that. Plus, I think it adds a little bit of grinding initiative. Like, what is the point of even grinding out this rank? I mean, like I've said before, you know, it's one thing to have a moderately good, rank and be like, okay, that's fine. Whatever, I don't need any more, and slowly pedal up or down and just kind of stay in that rut. It's another thing to actually be trying to grind to the top. And when you have nothing to grind for, there's really no reason to even do it. So to me, I think there needs to be rewards and things like that for actually getting to the top. Then the next thing I want to discuss is where I really think it went wrong. So guys, here's where it really went wrong and went awry. I don't think that the Enlisted developers at Darkflow actually thought through the fact that we've entered a new paradigm in Enlisted, where you have minimal balanced battles, we have a lot of one-sided battles, we have a massive gap between the new player base and the veteran community. And I think because of the fact that we have that polarization between those two sects, we have the really, really, really bad situation here, guys, that sadly the rank system isn't working here because you're getting battles where you have pros battling it out, but usually it's not an even number. It's not like 2-on-2 or 3-on-3. It's like 1-on-5. And it's like, okay, guys, the rank system does not work here. Because, for example, I was playing a battle the other day. I was the rank of Major General. I was 1 point from Lieutenant General. I was sitting here in a battle where I truly felt like I was the only one doing anything, guys. Because, like, it was crazy. As soon as I died, we started losing again. If I was in the capture point shooting everything, we were kind of holding the line. And I was putting up as much resistance as I possibly could. We ended up losing the battle, of course, but it was like I helped extend it out. But as soon as I died, we just started losing, and the enemy started capping the point. My point behind saying that, guys, is to say that I lost with 120 kills. Now, guys, if you agree with me here, comment. If you disagree with me here, comment, because I want to hear you guys' opinion on this thought. But I think if you're in a certain category, you shouldn't not get any points extra. Like, you should not advance in the rank system when you lose with high honors. When you have like 5 battle heroes, when you have 100 to 130 kills, to me, you should at least get 1 point toward your rank. If you guys disagree, that's fine. But in my mind, once you have a situation where it's polarized, and a lot of people have talked about this. I mean, I have heard so many comments and people talking about where it's like, yeah, I mean, I'll be out there and I feel like I'm the only one doing anything and we lose and I don't go anywhere or lose points. And it's like, come on, look what I'm doing here. And I think it's important that Enlisted and Darkflow realizes what's going on here. I mean, if we've entered the point where it's polarized, you don't have as many balanced battles, and when you don't have that, I think when you're in the top 2 to 3 players and you have a certain amount of battle ranks, you should be able to get a participation point or a valiant effort point, whatever it is, and I think that would be really cool because you can at least say, okay, yes, I lost, but I mean, I did everything I could for the team, and I did get a little reward for that, even though I didn't get like, 2 or 3 points for it. And I think that is a very important thing. And since they're not doing that, I think you have pros getting annoyed because it's like, okay, guys, we're doing everything we can here, and we're not getting advanced. Because as I've seen several comments saying, look, you just can't shoot everybody, and you can't. Enlisted is not a game like PlanetSide that I have talked about in a couple of other videos, where you can basically be so good the way the armor is and the way everything's laid out that you can basically take on 1v5, and because it's just a constant respawn, they can't instantly capture it. There's not usually always massive teams. Because of that fact, yeah, you can have it where it's completely off balance and still fair for the better player. And this one, that's not true. A better player can be as good as they want. If you have 5 or 6 guys sitting there shooting at them, I can get 4 of them. The fifth one's going to get me, because it's just I can only down so many at once with 30 rounds in an SMG. I mean, you can just, even if I headshot at all of them right across, most likely they would still get me. And we have to think about, they're not all using bolt actions. Usually at least one of them has a submachine gun. So to me, it's very important to discuss this, because I truly think that there is an issue with the rank system in that department. So guys, I'm sure you're wondering what I think we should do about it. Well, simple. First, I think we need to extend the ranking. Whether that's adding more ranks or just adding more points and needed to be gained in between the ranks, either way, it needs to be a little bit harder. I just think that will kind of allow everything to be tied together and allow any pridefulness to be about ranking be a little bit more than it would usually be. Now, the next thing is incentives. I think we need to add incentives that allow people to want to rank up. The first one is, I think we should add an XP booster for all battles that you win. And here's what I think it should be. Between the ranks of private and second lieutenant, no XP booster. You're not getting anything. It's just, those are like your ranks where you're getting into the rank system, you're training up, you're learning things, but you're not actually getting anything. The next one is between the ranks of first lieutenant and colonel. And to me, I originally was going to say, guys, that it should just be a 10% booster in that whole area, but I'm going to say between the ranks of first lieutenant and major, it should be a 5% XP booster, and between the ranks of lieutenant colonel and maybe major general, it should be a 10% XP booster. The rest of them up to general should be, to me, a 15% XP booster, and general of the army should be a 20%, and marshal should be 25 or 30% XP booster. I think that would allow everybody to be able to have a reason to want to rank up, because you can get a higher XP and things of that nature. Now next, I think this one's actually interesting, because I think it takes too long to upgrade higher squads. So what I think would be interesting for players that obviously are in the marshal category, that obviously are going to be going to squads faster than somebody in the much lower category, I think there should be an XP booster that doesn't give battle XP, but gives squad XP. And what I would say is maybe a 30 to 40% booster on that by the time you get to marshal. I'm not going to break that all down, but I just think that would be really good, because now you have, okay, you get a XP booster for your squad, and you get an XP booster for your battle. Now, I think those things would come in so handy, because people would be like, that's worth playing because I can get this and this, instead of, okay, well, that's nice, but whatever. Next, I think something that would also help the rank system would be if you actually had to, really work for it. And that's what I'm saying, it needs to be extended. It needs to be something you have to work for, so that you can say, I actually earned this. I didn't just get lucky. Now, I think to fix the issue of pros losing with high honors and not getting anything, there needs to be a special medal and battle hero you get for losing with high honors in the top 3. And to me, it needs to be a valiant something, valiant medal, something of that nature. And what I think that needs to do is basically gives you 1 point toward your rank. Now, the purpose of that to me is that, okay, even if I lose, but I did a good job, I'd say, okay, well, at least I did this for the team and I still got acknowledged for that. Now, how do I think it should work? Well, I think to be eligible for this medal, you have to be in the top 3. You have to have over 65 kills, and you have to at least have one other battle hero. Now, I would say if you're first place, it doesn't matter how many kills you have. You immediately get the medal because obviously you were the best person on that team. But when it comes to second and third place, you actually need to have over 65 kills and at least one additional battle hero. Because to me, that says, okay, because you don't want the top guy to have 70 kills and the next guys have like 10. So you want to make sure that's balanced. And I think adding those things would seriously make the ranking system better and more enjoyable for all the players. So guys, the final thing I want to talk about is how the ranking system having issues / the community having issues affects each other. I think I was going to originally say more on this topic, but I want to put this in another video where we really go into the community issues. So right now, I just want to say that I think the biggest problem that the ranking system is having on the community is it's disgruntling these pros that feel like, okay, I'm this rank, I'm better, and I'm not able to move up because of the fact that we just lost the battle, even though I did really good. And I think that is annoying them. So that's just a really bad thing because you never want your veteran community like actively getting increasingly annoyed. And then I also think it's annoying the newer players because, they come in and they can't, they feel like they're not really getting anything out of it. So I just think, the community is having some issues, but I want to really delve into other subjects on the community issue, enlisted's problems, things like that in another video. So that's all I'm going to say on that subject. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. See you, Battlefield Soldier. Still Arrow, signing out.